Hi, this is Dana. Just a little message before you listen to this family compilation. This first one features my sister Lori and I talking about family vacations in the car in the 1960s. And just to reiterate, we probably talk about it. Bud and Billy are my mom and dad. And then Mark is the oldest brother, Brad, Scott, me, and Lori. These stories are kind of when Lori was a baby, and I would have been around 3. Hope you enjoy. Goodbye. I just introduced you as that we grew up in a middle class, barely, maybe lower middle class house. It was 1,500 square feet, and there was one shower bathtub for all 5 kids, right?
Yeah, I still can't believe that when you brought that up. I do remember fighting for time in there.
What town were you guys in?
San Carlos, California. I was born in Montana, Missoula, Montana. My other brothers are all Montana. Lori was born in Redding, California, because we moved our way. We don't know what happened with my dad's jobs, but he was essentially always run out of town. So we were like a...
He was not run out of town. But they did put me in a shoebox. I was 5 weeks old. There were no car seats. It might have been a grocery box.
Yeah.
Or a shoebox, because I was 5 weeks early and only 5 pounds, 2 ounces.
Yeah, I remember that was creepy. I was 3, and you were in a shoebox. And, you know.
On the front seat. They just put me in a box. So I had to go. I think Mom was probably out of the hospital like maybe 2 days, and they had to go because it was for a job.
So do you remember, then we moved to San Mateo. My dad taught at San Mateo High School up in Northern California for 50 years. Do you remember that house on Palm Avenue in San Mateo? That's my first memory, 3.5 or 4 I was. You probably don't, right?
I don't remember that house, but the only story that I hear, I was so young, but Mark had me out in the buggy and probably got a little rambunctious, and I fell out of the buggy on the cement on my head.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe the reason why it's kind of funny.
Yeah, didn't you have a dent in your head for a while? I thought I remembered that.
I think so.
We were...
have it. The bones form differently. Yeah, the top of my head is a little weird, like the bones formed. Because you have a soft spot, right? You have a soft spot when you're little, right. So yeah.
Well, so you grew up in a shoebox till you're 2. Then they let you have the shoebox, and you're dropped on your head. You're 3, and it's not going well. Well, 2 things I remember from...
I don't think I had a crib. I think they pulled out a drawer in the dresser, and they put me in there.
God, it's like some Alice in Wonderland character.
Or like Charles Dickens.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry, you can't talk to her now. She's in the shoe drawer taking a nap. How big is she? I don't know. Tiny. She fits any way you put her. So
Tiny Tim.
Like Tiny Tim. Yeah. I had one thing that I remember from that era, because I was 3.5. Bud, our father, his name's Bud, Dad, set up a boxing ring in the little backyard, and we would have fights with neighborhood kids.
Oh my God.
One of my very first memories was in the garage putting on the satin trunks. Now, listen, I'm 3.5. I'm basically probably about 35 pounds. Who am I facing? And I remember the gloves were huge, and I had to get in the ring and fight another like 3 or 4-year-old kid. And wait, Lori. And then Scott had fights.
Fight Club
he was 6,
toddlers.
8, and Mark was 10. And the reason I know it was true is because years ago I ran into our cousin Grant, Shirley's eldest son. Yeah. Grant, really nice guy. And I go, I remember this body. You go, oh, yeah. I hated visiting the Carveys in San Mateo. You always had to put on the gloves.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So that was real.
If that went on now, you would all have been taken out by Children's Services and be in foster care.
Oh, we can get to Children's Services type stuff a little later. Oh, maybe in week 4. But
we didn't get services.
Now, I don't know if this is true, but Mom told me this was true. So Scott, Brad, and Mark were the sons of Katie Elder, older than me, rough and tumble kids. There was a 2-story house, little track home in San Mateo. They found mattresses at a dump or something and made like something so they would jump from the 2nd floor onto the mattresses.
Oh, my God.
So I didn't do it. They went to school. You're sleeping in a shoebox, and I'm just kind of bored. I'm 4 years old. So I got up on the ledge, and they were down there. And then I sort of got around, but I was too afraid to jump. So I ended up kind of hanging from the door. So I don't know if my foot was touching something, but I'm out there hanging. And a neighbor woman called Billy, mom, and said, your son is hanging outside the window, 2-story window. I'm 4. What good heavens? What are you doing here? She pulled me in. So.
Oh my God, my poor mom. Her children are jumping out the window onto old mattresses.
Oh, well, we fought and we shoplifted, we did all that stuff. But what I wanted to focus with you today, this is episode 2. For people, this may be our first podcast, but anyway, there's other stories. Was just wanted to unpack the family vacation because 60s families generally had 3, 4, 5 kids. They generally took a station wagon or Volkswagen van or something and went on drivable vacations. So for us, it was coming from California and going to Flathead Lake and Lake Ronan off of Flathead Lake. So what do you, I just want, I'll tell you my side of it, but what was your memory of those trips?
Being pushed around in the back seat, because where was I going to go? There were 3 across the bench and then 2 in the back. So the big guys got to go in the back, or we would trade and rotate positions. But I remember one time, I guess I was small enough and there were no seatbelts, but I got in front with mom and I curled up at the bottom of her feet. I was small enough to fit right down where her feet were. And I remember it was pretty cool because I don't know if we had air conditioning, but we had vents. And there was some kind of air vent. And I remember just curled up by her feet with air blowing on me.
Oh, my God.
Well, I'll tell you, Laura, there's so much to unpack there. But as far as that, we'd be in the station wagon. And then the next year, they got some portable air conditioner that would be in the front seat. So if you sat in the front seat, you had to wear a polar jacket. It was fucking freezing. In the back, you're melting because it's 110 degrees in the summer. We're going 100 miles an hour, no speed limit in Nevada, heading to Winnemucca from Reno. So sometimes we get up. My father always wanted to Zephyr or beat Uncle Jack's record. So we had to get up at 4 a.m.
Oh, God, yes.
And he was very intense. So there was this one trip where you and Mom had taken a plane to Great Falls, Montana. And then me and the brothers were going to drive up with Daddy Bud. And so he gets us up at 3:30 or something. Brad, Scott, and I are in the back in our sleeping bags. The seat is down, so it's kind of just linoleum. You're just like, so we're supposedly going to sleep and wake up in Reno for silver dollar pancakes.
Oh, that's so fun. I love that.
The pancakes are small. They're incredible. So when Mark, the downstairs brother Mark, who's a little different, we'll meet him later. When you're a co-pilot, you would be called the co-pilot in the front seat next to Bud. So Bud liked to smoke his pipe as he's driving. So we're on the 101 heading north, and he hands his stuff. He says to Mark to fill his pipe. So Mark has the pouch.
Oh, God.
And Mark was kind of clumsy, so he's filling it and filling. I'm in the back pretending I have one eye open. I'm not asleep. No one's asleep. We're going to just be asleep till Reno. And then Mark couldn't get it together, and Bud just grabbed it from him and said, "Oh, Jesus Christ." And then Mark said, being 15 or something, "Well, you could have waited." So Bud slams the brakes on in the middle of the freeway.
Oh, my God.
It's 4 in the morning, but he slams them on, and us in the sleeping bags just went flying. So I'm way over the front seat. My head is between Mark and Bud's, and I'm flailing in my bag. Brad and Scott are piling up on top of me. Oh, Jesus Christ. So that shouldn't have done that. But the scary part was when you're 15, and this is rough. This was kind of tough parenting, but it was probably good. So I get my permit, I'm 15. So I was the co-pilot that morning coming out of Seattle. So we're going to go through windy, curvy, rainy Oregon. My dad's driving. I'm up there with them. Always a little tense. Was just kind of afraid of my father. And then
nobody wanted to be the co-pilot. That was him.
I didn't want to be. You're all in the back, all happy and giggling. So we stop at a gas station, and then he points at me. Now I'm out on my feet because I was up all night. So I can barely keep my eyes open. But he points at me and points at the driver's seat. So I have to drive the family, and he always liked you to pass and go fast. Oh, Jesus Christ, kick it in the ass, you know.
Yeah, kick her in the ass.
So, and then we're on a windy road, and it's really rainy, and I was really not thinking I was going to make the turn. And I remember I usually go, oh, Jesus Christ, just kick it in the ass. But I remember he got kind of stiff and kind of quiet for a second. Is this kid going to dip us? So a lot of that.
Oh my God, that's terrifying.
But on a 2-lane road, he'd say, oh, Jesus Christ, pass him, kick it in the ass. You know, and you're flooring it. Another guy coming 100 miles an hour. You're 15. I weigh like 90 pounds. You know.
Oh my.
I can just imagine you in that seat driving and the pressure and him saying kick it in the ass. I totally remember that.
Oh, yeah. And I told you this recently, but when Scott and I had got some peppermint gum, black, and we started chewing the heck out of it in the back. We were in the way back. And somehow in those days, the window could go down in the back in this Ford LTD, or somehow we tried to throw it out the window, and it stuck right on the back of the car and started to melt in the hot sun into a small pancake size. But we didn't tell Bud because we knew he'd get mad, but we knew we were in trouble. So he comes around, oh, Jesus Christ, God damn it, the bubble gum. So that was not a good one. I have one more, and then I wanted to hear your stories on those trips because you had other ones.
Okay.
Funny. This one is true. So Bud always wanted to set the record. So we'd stop at the pancake house or whatever, and then he would just get the bill and leave. You know, he just, oh, geez, here we go. So sometimes you're like kind of almost running for the car. Wait for me. You know. He always ran for the car. The other thing was he wouldn't let us stop to go to the bathroom, right? Oh, you should have gone and win a mucka, right? He would be pissed if you had to go to the bathroom and stop, right?
Oh, that was terrible.
So when I was 5, we're going to Seattle, 4, 5, 6, and we're going to go see Uncle Jack. I literally just pooed my pants. I don't know how else to say it. I tried to hold it. I knew he'd be furious. I'm 5 years old. I thought I had it done, but then it wasn't done. And I was so humiliated. I get out of the car, and it's just hard to be graceful with a load, you know? And my Uncle Jack said, did someone step on some dog food or something like that? So then I went into the bathroom, and I saw the problem. So I carefully got the underwear off, and I didn't know what to do, but there was a window. This is all true, Lauren. I climbed out the window, got into the backyard, all true, and buried my underwear under a tree. God. And then climbed back in and went solo for the rest of the day.
Oh, my God. That is so sad.
But it was true. Lloyd, did you have any sort of problems?
Go back and find that berry and see if something grew from it.
Do you have any other? Because I have one more story, but I want to hear your.
Oh, yeah, no, I love it. Keep going.
Well, this is a true one too, and it involves. This one's different. It's got a lot to go. So we got a hold of an old Cadillac at some point that had a third seat you'd pull out. And we couldn't find a hotel. We're in the middle of nowhere, so we had to sleep in the Cadillac. So I had to sleep.
Where was I? Did I sleep in the Cadillac?
You were in the glove compartment. You were sleeping in the glove compartment. They kept it open so you could breathe, but she grew late. She's a normal sized person, but. Tiny Lori. So whatever, I had a sleeping bag behind the front seat. In those days, the transmission, there'd be a giant mound. So I was just trying to sleep over this giant mound in my sleeping bag. So next thing I know, I'm starting to come to. It's like 6 a.m. or something. I hear Brad and Mom talking about me. And I realized they're discussing the fact that because I was a bedwetter, that I wet the sleeping bag and I had a giant thing of, you could see a wet stain in the sleeping bag. And they're going, I don't know if he's just going to keep sleeping or should we get him up? So at some point, it got so late, I had to unzip it. And I just think it's so difficult to be graceful and have pride and self-esteem when you unzip it and summarily stand up and get out of your wet bag and go, what's up? Let's get some cocoa. So,
get your sister out of the glove box.
Yeah. No, she's in the ashtray. It was too big in the glove box. We cleaned it out, but she's in the ashtray.
Oh, my God.
Oh, God, that's hysterical.
So,
well, I remember going on one of those trips, getting up early in the morning. It was all terrifying because poor Mom had to get all the stuff together, and she was running around. And the day that I caught my finger in the door, remember, Dave, we were just ready to leave, like Zephyr to Winnemucca, and somebody slammed the door on my finger. And I started screaming and crying and ran up to my room, and this whole big, oh, Jesus Christ, just get in the car. So later there's photos of us, the photos you take on your trips, at the rest stop. I've got some kind of old toilet paper and a Band-Aid. My finger's probably broken.
Oh, we can't afford Band-Aids. Jesus Christ, just get some toilet paper out of the bathroom, wrap it up. Everything was like that.
We just had to get in the car and go, and poor lady, remember the little dog?
We had a cute dog lady.
We had to let her out to go to the bathroom.
Jeez.
Lady was a cute little dog, and then we all went away, and then Lady stayed with Bud and Billy, and Bud would just sort of torture Lady, because Lady was just a dog there, and he'd go to bed. Oh, Jesus Christ, go to bed. And she'd like crawl into her little bed.
Making her go to bed because she would do it. Like he would say, get in your bed, and she would do it.
And then he would take a little piece of cheese and make her chug-a-chug. Oh, chug-a-chug. So she'd stand up on her hind legs, little brown dog, and do her little front arms like an emotion. Oh, chug-a-chug. And then she got the cheese. So I thought, well, we'll visit in another month. I'm glad things are going well here at the old homestead. Let's play with the dog more, Daddy.
Oh my God, those trips though. But yeah, getting up so early and poor Mom trying to leave the restaurant because we were always running. You're right. The minute the check came, he just bolted. Nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And Mom always was constipated. She couldn't go to the bathroom, so she was always ordering oatmeal because I guess it had more fiber in it. And Dad was always mad because it took like an hour to get the freaking oatmeal.
I know.
And then she didn't have time to eat it, and then she'd have to rush to the car.
They were tough trips because, it was just hot and shitty hotels, and it took 3 days to get there, and then you got there, and it wasn't that great.
We loved the slide. We went to like the Best Western.
Oh, Best Western, and you look for them in the town, and you see one with a slide, and you check with the Coke machine. That was pretty cool. I mean, kids can have fun really with very little. Right. Find a Coke machine, I'm going to go down the slide. So that we had fun in spite of it. And we laughed a lot, Did you find the Coke machine? Yeah, it's down the hall, right down there. Kids have fun, you have fun as a kid.
That's true.
Well, Lori, we've done kind of 2 hours. We just had a long podcast, and I want to call you next week because we'll continue with the trips and stuff because we talked to Larry for quite a while.
I have a lot more to say.
Well, woo! All right, Tiny.
I didn't get to Diane tomorrow, though, but I'll get to that next time.
Oh, no. Well, God, that's so funny. Yeah, let's save that for next week because that's just too funny. Lori and her dance parties. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was a dancer. I was a go-go dancer.
Just dancing every second.
I was from the band because we had our own little dysfunctional family band. But we'll talk about that next week.
Right. We'll talk about that, when Grandma would come, the Wicked Witch of the West, and we'd have to perform for her like circus freaks. Yeah. And she'd bring her cookies, the date nut cookies. It tastes like cardboard. Anyway.
What kid wants to eat date nut cookies?
Yeah. Well, Mom was really nervous when her mom was coming. That's a teaser for you all next week. Welcome to Dysfunctional.
Oh, yeah, that's a teaser for next week. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day out there in sunny Cal. I'm just out here in Connecticut.
I know. It's so warm here and sunny. We got a big thunderclaps last night. You hear it? Like the whole house was shaking. It was really dramatic.
Lightning.
It was pretty cool. But let's talk next week.
Okay. That sounds good.
We enjoyed
Enjoy
it.
the day.
All right,
Me
Laura.
too.
All right,
Okay.
you guys.
Bye.
See you soon.
Love you, Laura.
Love you, Dane.
Okay. Bye.
All right, this next family story features my brother Scott and my cousin Jay, and it's about us trying to sneak out of the house one night. And I'll just leave it there. I hope you enjoy. And remember, everything they say is absolutely true.
We were the hard drinking, hard driving Carveys. There was a lot of
sewage everywhere.
Sewage and just
and swearing.
Guitar, drums, guitars, and broken snare drums. Yeah. We
wine glasses being thrown.
Wine glasses thrown. A lot of garbage, and then we had the day-old baked goods. Remember, we get them. Billy would hang out by the Hostess Cupcakes factory, and right as they were going to throw them in the trash compactor, could I have some for my sons? And then those were in the freezer in the garage, right? And that you could go in there and get a frozen cupcake or snowball or...
It cost $1.
Yeah, and it was
3 years old.
It was 3 years old. It was built in Guadalajara in 1948. It had been floating around the planet, and we finally got that chewy thing right in our mouth. And then Bud would buy a half a cow and put it in a big freezer. And we'd have steak, but most of it was bone and gristle, which is just the fat. He goes, oh, Jesus Christ, the gristle's the best part of the gristle.
Just like the Krispies, a pancake drenched in grease.
See?
Oh, you love the Krispies.
You're confirming. I told that story to Lori.
All true.
All syrup.
Dana loves the Krispies.
And remember the ants around the Caro syrup, the white syrup, the cheap syrup, and the ants would be around. Oh, Jesus Christ, it's protein. Yeah, we were a wild family. It was, Mark Carvey once.
But not as wild as our domestic terrorism kit put together with Jay Winters and you and me. We had walkie-talkies.
Okay, hold on. Let's back that up. Yeah, let me tell that story.
Okay.
I'll set the table. So
go ahead.
We'll finish with this story, which then I'm going to try to patch in Jay Winters as a witness. Our cousin Jay came to visit us in our middle-class home up in Northern California. It's New Year's Eve. Maybe I'm 10, you're 12. I'm 11, you're 13, something like that.
We're at that age where we want to do vandalism. There's an age.
Somewhere we got the idea that we would hide stuff in bushes to create mayhem, which would be like shaving cream, spray paint, cherry bombs,
maybe
eggs. We'd already...
toilet paper, walkie-talkies.
Yeah. We'd already... Scott and I were already good at throwing eggs at neighbors because the next-door neighbor who had his medals on a plaque in front of his house, we call him the Colonel. If our ball went into his yard, he would keep it. So one time, Scott and I came around with a dozen eggs and just waylaced at the side of his house. Remember that one?
Yeah, I do.
So
I do.
We hide the stuff in the bushes, and then we put a big aluminum ladder in a middle-class neighborhood where everyone could see it right up to our bedroom window on the second floor. Parents' bedroom is right next door. We go to sleep, pretend yawning, right? Like at 10:30. It's New Year's Eve. Like, we're just going to go to sleep. Okay. Then what happens?
Yeah. Well, the plan was when the parents were asleep, we were going to make our way one at a time down the ladder, get our domestic terrorism kit, and just unleash hell on the neighborhood. Thank God we didn't. So Dana goes first.
Well, wait a minute. Okay.
Okay.
You choose. Okay, now I'll take it for a second. So for some reason, I'm chosen to go out the window first.
Of
so
course.
We do the thing. We open the window opens. We have a windy thing.
You're the youngest, right?
It's dark and kind of foggy. It's like 3 a.m. The neighborhood's dead. I get out on the ladder, and then I'm hearing stuff. I think maybe the dog started to wake up people. What happens there? You and my cousin Jay are in the...
Our plan was destroyed by a little dog named Lady.
who didn't like the
to unleash mayhem and death.
So the dog...
What do we do now? The dog's waking everyone up.
The dog is barking.
So I said, Dana, go slow. You thought I said, go now, and fell off the ladder. Like 8 feet onto the grass.
Let me get from my side. I'm crouching out there. Okay. I see lights going on. I don't know what to do. It's the middle of the night. I'm 10 feet up in the air. I bring my face up. I thought you said to me, go quickly. But I thought you thought you said go quietly, and I heard go quickly.
You're right.
So I took one step, missed it, and fell flat on the wet grass on my back.
God.
The house is lighting up. I'm outside. What do I do now? The door's locked. I can't get in. There's noise. I'm frozen in the driveway in the middle of the night.
What we did. So Dana's outside.
Yeah.
But Carvey is going to come into our bedroom. we stuffed Dana's bed with pillows, right?
To look like I was there. Yeah.
Right. Bud Carvey takes the blankets off, and there's no Dana. Just a pillow. What? I don't know where he is. So then came my best acting moment.
Yeah, Jay Winter said that he was going like that, and he said, "Where's Dana?" And didn't either you or Jay go, "I think he went outside."
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I think Dana went outside.
Outside.
Okay. Yeah.
We don't know why. So then we all marched outside. I'm in the front. My dad's coming out behind me. I walk outside, and Dana's coming down the driveway. Like, hey, what do we do? Wait. And I go, this is the greatest acting moment of my life. I go, Dana, what are you doing out here?
Yes.
Like, trying not to overact, just trying to sell it.
No, that was fantastic. Right? I saw you come out. There's a side door into an open garage. We didn't have a garage door, just a carport.
Yeah. Right.
Scott comes out in the light. I see him. He points and says, "Dana, what are you doing out here?" Then I see Bud lurking behind. I was thrown under 500 school buses.
What did you feel? Were you like, oh my God, you just...
I was very, very scared, but I knew that Bud wouldn't pull anything dramatic with Cousin Jay there. He's always on his best behavior. All right, I'm going to try to put...
And then we stayed up... Oh, okay. I'm just saying we stayed up all night trying to figure out why we did that and what happened, and then he never even asked us in the morning.
I know. It just became... Yeah, it was so silly that he couldn't even get mad. Just like when I was caught shoplifting. I didn't get a spanking.
Did you get mad at Scott? Did you feel betrayed?
You know what? I don't remember feeling that. I felt anxiety of what's going to happen. Oh, okay. I think I kind of understood why you did that, and I would have done the same, to be honest.
I would. Oh, definitely survival.
Yeah, survival. Okay, I'm going to try to patch in Jay Winters. If I lose you, I'll call you back. I've never done this before,
but awesome.
Yeah. See if we get him.
Okay.
See, I don't know how this works.
Text does he need? He needs to merge a call.
Yeah, it says add call.
Yeah, to have another voice.
That's the password.
To say this really happened.
Yeah, that's what we want. And Jay Winters is down there. Yeah. Yes, that's it. Okay, we're hoping now.
I think it's going to ring first, and then you'll merge.
Yeah, and then it says merge. Okay, hold on. He's in the bathroom, too.
Yes, sir.
Hello, Jay?
I can hear him. Is Scott there?
Hello, Scott? They can talk, but we can't hear it.
Yeah, like echoey. It's like we're on hold. Don't worry.
They're talking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Hold on, you guys. I'm now hearing you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Let me just be the ringleader for a second. So, Jay, Scott and I just did a comprehensive take on the domestic terrorism, as Scott calls it, that we attempted to unleash on that middle-class neighborhood. So let's hear it from your point of view. I mean, you can talk about, us being your cousins and all the weird stuff that we did, got you into pole vaulting. Scott weighed like 100 pounds, but he found a broken pole behind the shed at the high school, taped it up, and we started running across a concrete patio, and we found some old mattresses, and we would pole vault into the thing. But if you didn't get enough inertia, you would go back down and take more punishment to your head because we're coming off that patio. But you became...
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah, explains a lot. Yeah. So from your point of view, why did I go out the window first?
Because you're the youngest and the smallest.
Okay. So what did you think when I went out there? Did you think this is a good plan? I can't wait to get outside on that ladder, or this isn't going to end well?
The way I remember it is, for some reason, I was half asleep. And, we just, you were the Mikey will do it, Mikey likes it. Send Mikey out the window.
I was the little innocent kid. So Mikey got out on the window. And then Then what happened?
And I honestly think I went back to sleep.
But then you remember that the dog barked and Bud came into the bedroom, right? And what happened with
Well,
them?
yeah, but that was after you sat outside waiting for us to come down the ladder, and we didn't come.
Well, I was on.
And so you came back up the ladder.
Right.
You came back up the ladder.
Did. Yep.
And tried to get us, come on, guys, type thing. And Scott said, go quietly.
Yes.
And you thought he said, go quickly.
Bingo.
That's true.
That's it.
Yeah, you're right.
So wait a minute.
And next thing you know, you're tumbling down this aluminum ladder.
Yes. Onto a wet, soft grass. So I didn't take much damage, but I was very adrenalized. But you're saying this, that when Mikey, me, Dana went out the window, 60 pounds of me, I was out there for like 20 minutes?
Oh, long enough for me to go back to sleep, I think.
So your cousin goes out the window. You know there's shaving cream and firecrackers in the bushes to unleash domestic terrorism, and you snooze. What?
Yeah.
Jay's always been really mellow. He's fly.
Jay,
you have to go back to sleep.
Just to tell you folks about Jay Winters, and I've flown with him a lot. They know I'm not a good flyer. Jay Winters could have been the third one on the moon lander. He would have been next to Neil Armstrong and told him to calm down. I've never seen him throttle. Yeah. Well, we'll find some place to put it down. So I want to hear about you guys. This part, Jay.
So we stuff pillows in your bed, throw the covers over them. Bud's running into the room.
Okay.
He comes running in the room. Scott and I pretend like he wakes us up. We have no idea what's going on.
You guys are Oscar winners.
He starts shaking the pillows, throws the covers over, and Scott and I look at him and go, "Where's Dana?"
With our best acting. That was the greatest moment.
As if we know nothing.
And what did you respond to? Where's Dana, and what do you say?
We have no idea. So Bud looks out the window or something, sees the ladder. It's kind of like we put together a posse. We're looking for Dana.
Because Dana, as an individual, did a solo attempt at domestic terrorism.
Right.
Yes, you knew nothing.
Yeah, we had, stop him. We had no idea. No idea.
All right.
No idea.
So we go outside with Bud, and we're looking for Dana. So Scott and I come around a corner. You see us. You come out from the bushes, but Bud's right behind us. And we point at you and go, "There's Dana."
Brilliant acting. So it was a solo project the whole time. Unpack that.
Yeah.
I hid the ladder. I put the ladder. Yeah.
Scott and I had nothing to do with it.
You know what? It could be a weird twist is that you're actually remembering it wrong, that I literally planted the ladder, planted the stuff, and waited for you guys to fall asleep to plot my mayhem.
By yourself.
Wow.
Could have been that way.
Could have gone that way. But yeah, we did nothing. Nothing happened. Bud was on good behavior. Yeah.
Yes. So Dana, being fairly quick, he puts a move on Bud, gets around him, heads back into the house, running up the stairs.
Yeah. Because he goes, Jesus Christ.
Right on his heel.
He tried to kind of swat you. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's like a backhanded. And if you just went right up the stairs and right into the bed, I had to get all the pillows out of my bed so I could crawl in it. I had to reset the stage. Ironically, I did go out. I've never told you guys this. I went out 2 hours later. I did get, because Bud didn't. I guess here's the other part. Did we ever sneakily or kind of in a disappointed way go back to the bush where we hid all the tools to destroy the neighborhood, the spray paint, the eggs, the cherry bombs?
No.
We just left them there.
No. Well, no. The way I remember it was we concocted a story that night that you went out the window on a dare.
In case.
And it was a very innocent thing.
Oh, okay. So that's why we didn't get in trouble.
Bud and Billy seemed to buy it. And then Lori or somebody found all our weapons of destruction and brought him in there.
Lori?
Brought him in the house. I think it was Lori. She found all the stuff that hid in the bushes.
You know what? I'm gonna try just for fun to see if we can add Lori and see if we can confirm this. I think we can do it. Just hold on, you guys. Talk amongst yourselves.
This could be a deal breaker with my sister. I'm sorry.
A deal breaker.
I can just put Lori.
This is a deal breaker.
Yeah. Oh. I don't know if her number's in those things.
Do you remember?
Yeah, maybe.
Do you remember? I'm sure we went to.
Let's try this one.
Oh.
We'll have to do this more.
Oh my God,
really fun.
It's hysterical.
She may not pick up.
Hello. Please leave a message after the call.
Okay. Lori, call me. Lori, call me. All right. We tried.
She might get it back. Let's see. What time is it there? It's 3 in Connecticut.
Can't see either.
So now we're back. We never got a hold of Lori, but that was a really good try. So
yeah, but okay.
Yes.
Well, do you remember any of that?
I didn't know that Lori found the incriminating evidence and presented it to the parents ritualistically in the living room. But nothing would surprise me. Well, call Dane. I didn't know Dane. I thought it might be someone else, Dane. Are you mad, Dane? No, I'm not mad.
But do you remember there was walkie-talkies involved?
Yes, now that I do. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I'd be like...
And do you remember the story of the walkie-talkies?
No.
You got them for Christmas from Grandma.
Okay.
And it was the same year that Grandma gave me some bubble bath and some pencils that had written on them, I love Grandma.
So you got bubble bath and pencils, and we got superstar walkie-talkies? And that was the grandma that this was Bud's mom that lived up in Seattle. She was...
Yes.
Did you hear what he said was on the pencils? What? I love Grandma.
I love Grandma's on the pencils? Yeah,
written on the pencils. I got a whole sleeve of them.
Remember when she made a cup of tea and then held up her tea bag and tried to light it like as a cigarette? Do you remember that one? There was a lot of medication in the bathroom. I don't know what was going on. She had some great... What did she call you? She had nicknames for you and your two sisters up in Seattle.
Well, I was Brub.
Brub. Do you know where that came from?
Supposedly, my sisters couldn't pronounce brother or something.
So it was Brub, and what were your sisters' nicknames?
Oh, let's see. Gwen was Kitten, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know where that came from. And Patsy was just Patsy Ruth, I think. Patsy Ruth, like Babe Ruth.
Oh, Patsy Ruth. Okay, Scott was nicknamed the Scotchman, but sometimes Bud would call you Scott the Pot, right?
That's true.
Yeah, but that's just because it rhymed. It had no sense to it. Scott the Pot.
I want to ask Jay about the fish heads.
Oh, God.
Well, let me say. Hold on, guys. Let me set the scene. Okay. Jay Winters had a very adorable, eccentric mom.
Yeah,
who was a very sweet. She'd be like, when I was there, she loved talking Spanish words. You know, can I have some milk? You mean you want leche? You want some leche? And she was kind of an innocent.
This is your aunt.
This is my aunt, Jay's mom.
Jay's mom, okay.
And then one day I'm there, and Jay's dad has kind of this
rough. I really like Jack, and we want to have him on the podcast. He's 91 today.
Love Jack.
But she had presented the dinner to us all, and she wasn't the best cook in the world, but she had.
But she tried.
She tried, and one plate was just piled high of just fish heads. And Jay's dad, Uncle Jack, said, "Get the goddamn fish heads off the goddamn table." Remember that?
Oh, yeah. That's true.
She was going to have us dig in on, we're going to have the biscuits, and then, well, have a fish head. Fish heads with the eyes and everything.
Was it like exotic or like?
No, Mom was from Texas. And she grew up during the Depression.
They were free.
Okay.
They were free. And you know, Mom's thing was if you put it. Yeah, Mom's thing was if you put enough mustard on anything, it was good.
She's got a point. Well, we had mayonnaise. Well, let's just so that they know that Scott and I have cred. We had mayonnaise sandwiches when we didn't have much in the house. White bread, mayonnaise, a little bit of pepper, and that was your lunch. Yep. So we didn't grow up with a silver spoon. Wow, that's so funny. There's so many stories. I don't even know. What was cooler when you were a little kid? A Super Ball or silly putty to get?
Ooh, I would have gone for the Super Bowl.
Silly putty.
All right.
Magic.
Okay.
Silly putty.
Well, let's do this again. We have enough for this episode. We may even cut part of it for another episode, but we'll do this again. I love telling a story and then having someone else come in and confirm it with the different details.
That was the best, the different perspective.
So what we'll do next time, well, first of all, Jay, there's so many stories. We don't get into Lake Ronan and Guppy and Audrey and that whole hillbilly nonsense.
And the fishing poles that went away in one day.
But when Scott,
how about the dads competing on whose kid was dumbest?
They did. It was not coddling parenting. He's so dumb. The big dummies. No, that's true. They would. But that's why I said that Bud always wanted to beat Jack's record. Like if Jack drove from San Francisco back to Seattle in a certain time, we had to get up at 3:30 and try to, we got a Zephyr to beat Jack's record. So they competed on everything, and especially whose kid was the dumbest.
The thing was, you wouldn't believe what Dana did this year. Let me raise you with what Jay did. Well, let me tell you what Scott did then.
But, Scott the Scotchman, Lori was Miss Fritz, and Brad was Bobo in our family. I don't know why. Because he had brown hair. It's like a little circus animal or something. But, on our next episode, one we're going to do about when Scott and I became shoplifters for a year, and then we'll bring Brad in as a witness on that. But for you, I want to unpack the little lake in western Montana, very cheap cabins, and where we would go to fish. And the day that Scott and I went out with our brand new little $12 casting rods, came back with no fish and no casting rods. We came back with one oar. It was a rowboat. We almost lost the rowboat. We swam into shore. Where's the boat? Where's the rods and the fish? So that'd be a great story for us and for him. And I'd love to have Jack on too. Your dad, who's 91.
That'd be awesome. Mm-hmm. And remember the gray barges, which had the oars, not the cool with the motor. They look like a barge, like they were square. They had no aerodynamics,
no water flexibility. Yeah, they were just big pieces of slapped together wood.
Awful.
Well, the guy who ran the mercantile, remember, this is low rent cabins and just a shithole.
A mercantile.
Guppy probably built the rowboats. His nickname was Guppy because they always say we caught him in the lake. and Audrey, who I guess had a stroke or something, but we didn't know, so her mouth was all crooked. We thought that her husband caught her in the lake. We're just little kids. I'm sorry if I offended anybody, but those are the rumors.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, well, this has been super fun. I loved it. So we'll do this again. I hope you guys enjoyed it. That was really funny.
Hope you enjoyed what you just heard, and we will be back next week with an original episode of the Fantastic Podcast. And on this episode, coming up, something unexpected is going to happen.